Alright, what's up, guys? So, I'm going to talk about toxic positivity. And I can't stand those people. People that are overly happy, people that are overly optimistic about life, and they feel joyful constantly, and it just doesn't feel natural. They just feel like I feel like those type of people are like a robot or something, you know? It's crazy. A lot of times when, like, say, if you're upset, you feel like garbage and you feel like this person's a good person to talk to, they'll say, everything will be okay, just smile more or something. That's some toxic positivity right there. It's them being afraid to actually listen and try to understand, open up and try to care, right? So they'll just say, just smile. You'll have a better day tomorrow or something. It's pathetic. A lot of times these people that are toxic with their positivity, it's like they aren't in reality. They like are stuck in la la land, and they don't realize that there's a lot of bad things in the world. There's poverty. There's murderers out there, rapists, bullies. There's people victim of rape, being bullied and abused from their parents. There's people out there that have drug addictions. There's people out there that are born with like a mental illness and a disability that affects their life in a lot of ways, and all those other things. It'll be too long, you know. It's like they act like it doesn't exist. They act like this world is only a good place. This is a beautiful place, you know. They think they're in heaven or utopia or something. It's pathetic, you know. A lot of times these people are insecure, right? They always feel like they need to be happy all the time. And really, like, if there's something wrong, they should be able to be open and say what's wrong, right? That could probably stem from childhood too. That could probably come from abuse from their parents. Their parents were probably toxic with their positivity themselves, and they were condescending to them. They would say, "Be grateful." They'll say things like, "Don't worry about it," and they'll say, "Life is beautiful," and they'll say, "Life is what you make of it," constantly, and they invalidate their feelings, and I guess that makes them feel like, oh, that's how I have to feel all the time. Be happy and upbeat, you know, when really you feel upset about something, right? It's like you taught them to restrict how they feel, you know, and that's pathetic. Right? That makes you not feel like yourself, you know? Because you should be allowed to complain. You should be allowed to be upset about stuff. You should be mad about things, right? Obviously, you don't want to turn it into a hostility and not be able to regulate your emotions, like, in a bad way. And the thing is, not everyone's perfect with that, you know? I know I'm not. I have a hard time with that shit. But I try my best to regulate, and I'm trying to improve on that, so I don't want to hurt other people, you know? And that's the thing. I feel like those type of people suppress their feelings and then they can lash out, you know? Right? It's crazy. Yeah, like, how can you be so positive about life when, like, something can give you unnecessary pain and suffering and other people deal with the same thing, you know? How can you be so positive about that? People that are overly optimistic are just not realistic about life. You don't want to listen to someone that just is super optimistic about something, you know? And especially ones that are toxic with their positivity and they just give you the pros all the time with something. Like, if you want to move somewhere else or you want to try something new, or, you know, if they don't give you the cons or toxic with their positivity, then you can't listen to those type of people, you know? It's not realistic. And it's something else. Yeah, I feel like those people that are toxic with their positivity, no wonder they have a hard time making friends. No wonder they have a hard time getting along with people, because they're not showing their true feelings. They're keeping it inside. They're too agreeable. Maybe some of them are like pushovers or something. I remember I was like that. I was a pushover. I was too nice. I was too agreeable, and because we'll talk about that in a video. But I guess I was kind of like that with with the positivity. I felt like I can't express how I feel. Be angry. And that's just toxic. Especially at a workplace. If they tell you like you have to be happy all the time, you gotta uh, can't be upset at the job, then like how like if there's something wrong with the company and needs to improve, how's it gonna improve when someone's like toxic with their positivity, act like there's nothing wrong? Crazy, ain't it? It's ridiculous. I feel like these type of people too, that act toxic with their positivity, they're not aware of the world really. They're not aware of that other people are going through problems and it's messing with their life and they can't live the same like everyone else. They're stressed out and they struggle and they don't want to feel this way, but they never have to be born into that and they see a lot more things. A lot of these people that are toxic with their positivity just use it as a coping mechanism probably too. They cope. They say, "Oh, life is beautiful. Oh, as long as I'm happy, as long as I feel good, then life is good." you know. But really, it's just entitlement, basically, from what the world really is. And I do admit there is good in this world, but there's a lot of bad. I'm not toxic with that. A lot of times, people that are toxic positivity can be, like I said in my last video with the self improvement, they can be toxic with that. Be like, never give up, keep going, keep pushing, and that just leads the person to a burnout and they want to give up. Like if you talk to them like that, it's pathetic. You can tell someone's toxic with their positivity when it just, you interact with them, they just sound so fake. You like listen to them and it almost sounds like a script they're reading. It almost sounds like all that shit. I feel like there's a lot of people that are toxic with positivity that believe in God. I guess not all of them. Not all people that believe in God have toxic positivity, but it seems like a lot of them are overly optimistic and since they have this faith, they feel like they're going to go to heaven. They just say life is beautiful and they're afraid to speak up about the world and they think they're going to sin. you know? And there's nothing wrong with talking about things. It's something else. Yeah. Because you can't have the good without the bad. You can't just say life is beautiful and all this when there's bad in the world. Make that make sense. People are toxic with that. A lot of these people that are toxic with their positivity become bullies as well. They try to make you scratch your head and make you feel confused on like how you're feeling. And you feel like you don't have no one to talk to or trust about it, right? I remember when I was in a mental hospital, I was upset because my mom was thinking about taking me to a group home or something. And then I went into my room and I was crying. And because I didn't want to be in a group home, I just kept getting in and out of hospitals and my bipolar was affecting me. And I think I talked about this earlier in this video, but There was this one staff lady. I mean, I guess her intention wasn't to harm me, but she was toxic with her positivity, obviously. And she said you should just smile more, you know, and that pissed me off. I was like, how can I smile more when I'm not feeling good? Just shows you like these people don't know how to handle someone when they're upset. That's another thing. People that are toxic with their positivity seem to not understand how to handle someone when they're depressed or upset, and they don't want to have the patience to understand them. They'll just say life is beautiful, go outside more, touch grass. You know, they'll say those pathetic things. That actually puts the person down. You know, they'll say go out and meet people, go pick up a hobby, go get a better job. This toxic positivity shit. You know, it's bad. That's it though.